Hey everyone, I'm back, and this week I'm doing something which I have never done before. As you can see, I've got no bike with me, and that's on purpose because today I'm going to be building some stuff. Now I've come to realise that I've neglected my mountain bike over the last year or so. Last year I tried to get myself a bike brand involved and it just didn't work out. So while I didn't have any obligations with a brand, I decided to send out the cute thief and just find me some cool used bikes to play with instead. But another year's rolled by and it's time to get those emails sent out to the brands again. So it's about time I actually get back out on the mountain bike just to prove that yes, I do actually ride a mountain bike as well. But I don't want to just do any normal mountain biking. You know, I'm a trials rider and may as well use my strengths. So that's why I'm without a bike today. That's why I'm with a spade today, because I'm gonna build myself a trail that I think I would want to ride. And I'm gonna put out there, I want it to be one of the most difficult mountain bike trails that's ever been made. I want it to be so if I get down without putting my foot down, then that's a really good day. So I'm at a place which I'm not going to say where it is because this could be potentially a dangerous trail on publicly accessible land, and I don't really want you guys to come and ride this. I actually put a poll up on my Patreon page asking whether I should let people know where this is, and yeah, people justifiably said no, I don't need those lawsuits. So today it's going to be a bit of a secret, but if you're local you may well recognize it, and if you do want a bit of a clue, go and watch my fat bike riding video because it's the same place. But yeah, I can't stop local riders from coming and attempting what I'm about to build. I will try and make it super difficult, so hopefully it'll just put you off. So if you do come here and you do see it, don't try it. Anyway, I'm bigging myself up too much here. It might end up being something that doesn't even work. So I think we're almost there. We're going to be up in these woods here. So let's go see what we can find. So this woodland here, this hillside, is where I want to make my trail. And I will let you into a little secret here. I actually did come and scout this a few months ago. I did plan on filming it for a video. I just forgot my SD card. You'd have thought after like 6 years of doing this, I'd know to bring an SD card, but no, I forgot it. I'm still an amateur. But yeah, it's been a few months. I wonder if I can still see it. I scraped a bit of a line down. It needed some work. I just need to scramble up there and see if I can actually find out where it went. Okay, I found the start of the trail right here. Where is it on the screen? There. So you basically come off the top of the hill here, and you've got to try and keep your speed to get up this little bit, and then that's going to be so sketchy on the other side, and hopefully this is going to be hard enough right at the start that people are just like, nope, I'm out of here. I don't want it to be too obvious that there's a start of a trail here because, like I've mentioned, and I'm going to mention a few times, I don't want people riding this, so it's going to be slightly hidden, slightly obscure, so I'm not going to do too much work here, just to clear a few of the bigger branches. But let's go take a look at what is after this little bit. So the uphill start is just behind there, and then you instantly come into this section here. It's just off camera, but that is some pretty steep, nasty stuff down there. The idea is you're probably going to have to come along, get your front wheel on this, and do some kind of like endo drop, get your back wheel on there, front wheel on there, and hope you don't go too far that way. The thing is though, that's not even the hard bit. The hard bit is right there. Let's take a look. Imagine your front wheel's on that bit. You're going to have to shunt your back wheel onto that bit and your front wheel onto that little sticky out bit of rock there. And again, that is steep down there, just believe me. From that bit, imagining you have landed there, you're balancing, you're then gonna have to do another shunt and land your back wheel on that bit, your front wheel on the top of this bit here. And there is just enough of a kind of V in there, I reckon a bike will fit through. Again, you've got about a bike's length, so you're resting your front wheel on that rock. And then you've got this drop off down into this little gully here. Now it's a little bit overgrown, I'm gonna have to trim some of these back. I think you could just about fit underneath this fallen branch here, but I think I might just try and cut that out the way. Now this certainly isn't going to be a flow trail by any means. It's actually going to pretty much be the opposite of a flow trail. It's going to be a lot of hopping, lots of stopping, lots of balancing, and that's kind of what I want. You know, I am a trials rider. In competitions, that's kind of what you do, and I just want this to be so difficult that the goal is to get down. That's the goal, just to make it to the bottom, and it doesn't matter how stylish or lack of style you do it. It just, as long as you get down to the bottom, that's the point. So yeah, it's off to a difficult start, and this is literally just the top few meters. So let's head down here and see what's next. before I show you the next bit, I'm just going to do a bit of trimming here, just get this so it is a little bit rideable, and then we'll move on. The thing is, coming from a competition background, I'm used to riding stuff how it lies. So I'm not going to build anything here. I don't want to build any bridges. I don't want to build any drops or anything out of wood. I may, like I said, just cut a couple of things out of the way. But other than that, I'm just going to scrape away the topsoil, scrape away some moss, and try and make it as natural, as hidden as possible. I don't want to be building stuff and getting all the attention on it. So just a simple bit of clearing. And hopefully that means that this will be quite an easy build as well. It's actually 3:30, so I've come pretty late. But I reckon we could get quite a lot done, so let's get on with it. Right, need to get rid of this tree somehow. Kind of success. It has landed exactly where I want the trail to go. Whew. I wonder if I can just nudge it out of the way. Lift up my legs, not my back. Yo ho ho! I think that is perfect. Now I just need to do a little bit of tidying up here and then figure out how I'm going to get across these rocks over there. So let's imagine we've made it down there, we've got to this point, we've somehow got to thread the needle between here. I reckon that's the way to go. So I'm going to get rid of the moss from this one, and I really hope this works, because if this doesn't work I can't really figure out any other way to get across onto that one. Back wheel on there, front wheel on there maybe. And either jump front wheel to there and back wheel where that is. I actually have a choice. If I do that, I can go down to the one I stood on, or I could go up to this one. I wonder if there's anything this way. Alright, if I go that way, let's turn the camera and show you. You end up on this rock here. I reckon it might be possible to ride off it. You can't drop off it, I don't think, just because there's too much going on down there. But it is rollable. The only thing is, there's a big rock up there. But if you roll down here, will you fit with your bike underneath that? If so, that would be a really cool feature. So I'm gonna do a squat. I'm gonna do two routes here. You have choice. If you can make it up to this one, I'm going to clear a little bit out there, so if it is rollable you can do it, but otherwise I'm going to make it so you go into this one and then you're going to have to do some kind of drop off it. So let's clear a bit more moss and then get to the next point. This moss actually doesn't feel too bad. It seems a shame to remove it because it's kind of pretty, but the last thing I want is to come on here, try and drop down there and end up doing a wheel spin because the moss breaks away. So I'm going to get rid of it. I'd also like to mention that I am thinking of doing this on my Santa Cruz, the bike that I've been riding for the last few years. It is feeling a little bit tired, but it's actually still an awesome bike. But if you're with a bike brand, maybe you're the owner or you just work there or you're an athlete manager, whatever, then hit me up if you want to see your bike ridden down this trail. I promise not to kill myself and break your bike. I promise I'll never die. But yeah, hit me up if you are interested in me riding your bike, because I would quite like to be involved. We've got flies over here. Right, that's enough selling myself. Let's carry on. So that's what it looks like from here. That's the rock, and the plan is to roll down here. Now it's going to be really tight between this tree, but there is a natural roll down, and it's just maybe possible you could come down this bit. Yeah, so that's literally all I'm going to do to that. I don't think it needs any more. The run out's all right. Just need to find out whether I can actually fit underneath this rock, and hopefully it doesn't fall on me if it hit it. Right, what's next? Okay, with the freshly cleared mossy rock, I need to end up on that rock there. I think that's my bag, or thereabouts. So I need to decide how to get there. And there's two ways I can think of. There's the low line, Ben Castro here, or there's the high line. Now the low line is going to be way easier to get onto because naturally it's downhill. You're probably just going to end up going that way because of the camber. But once you get to where my bag is over there, there's another rock. The low line is going to be really hard to get back up onto it. Now the harder setup is the high line, but if you can drop down there and then somehow keep your momentum, because I don't want to hop too much, go up over this tree here, and then that bit sets you up way nicer to get onto the rock where my bag is. So I'm going to have to take a look and see which I think is more doable. So I've done some clearing over there. Starting from this rock, we jump down and then it's essentially, yeah, just along that path there. Now, like I mentioned, this is kind of the easier one to get into. Let me show you why this is the harder one to get out of. So the idea here is you kind of ride up and then hopefully get your tires exactly where you want them to be. And you go hop, 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 and then end up on, which one is it? That one there. It's kind of the next big breather resting rock before we start to get a little bit steeper. I mean, that almost looks like a trail now, doesn't it? Right, let's take a look at this high line. I'm not promising I'm going to put the work in, because this one's certainly doable. But if we can make this one work, it's nice to have options. So I reckon that's the high line done. And other than the difficulty at the start of it, I think the end of it is going to be way more fun. So we'll have to see how rideable they are and then which one I prefer doing. So yeah, pretty happy with how that's come out. So yeah, which do you reckon would be more rideable? The high road or the low road? I honestly don't know. What do you think? Okay, so let's pretend we've managed to do either the high or low road and we've got onto this big rock here. We can have a bit of a breather, it's good for balancing. Then next we're going to go down here somewhere. Now there is actually a rock there, you have to imagine the hillsides like that, but there is a rock there. I think you could gap down onto that and then down there somewhere maybe. I do need to trim some things. I'd rather not cut stuff back if possible. I wonder if I can just kind of flex this stuff out of the way behind a tree and clear it a little bit. And then I think that should set you up for some pretty tech steep roll downs which are camouflaged behind there. Now if that doesn't work, then the other option is actually just a relatively easy ride over that, around the back and down. But it would be cool if we can make it a bit more trialsy. Right, how's that looking now? We're on this rock here, there's my foot for scale. You come to the edge here, go on the back wheel, gap to that rock there, which I'll put in focus for you. Gap to that rock there, and then your momentum will kind of just keep you going that way. I don't think you need to worry about that rock too much. Just stick left, try not to hit that one, then roll out and you head to that rock there. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. I reckon that'll be okay. Won't be easy, but that's kind of the point. Right, okay, so the next feature is this rock here. The plan is, with this trail, I kind of want to aim towards all the big rocks. So this is the closest rock to the section we've just done. Actually, by the time your momentum has finished, gapping down to that rock, you're going to be pretty much here. So this makes sense that this would be the next feature. It is pretty sketchy, like pretty much everything I'm making here is literally just straight off the end of this, down the steep hill. Now I think there might be enough grip, certainly when it's dry, to be able to stop before the next feature, which you ideally really do need to stop before it. If that doesn't work, then I think you'd be able to pivot off it. But either way, we're just going to repeat what I've done with the other rocks and get rid of this layer of moss. So let's do that. Okay, just to give you some kind of visual of how this is linking up, that's the big rock that I just cleared with the gap down, then roll, just cleared this bit down by my feet, and that's the rock I just cleared there. Now the idea is you kind of roll down. I think you might have to come down to the side here and approach this a bit sideways, but I reckon, oh, this is grippy enough. If you get down on that little bit there, you can kind of hop out and then just send it down the hill a little bit. So that's what it looks like from here. It's not the biggest thing in the world, it's just a bit steep onto a pretty steep landing. Clear some of this stuff out of the way, should be good to go. I need to show you this next bit. I don't know what I'm doing here, it's horrendous. And hopefully this gives an idea of how steep this bit is. So the plan, after you've jumped off this rock, is to try and thread the needle between these two trees here. And literally just a bike's length ahead of that is one of the bigger roll downs I think I found here. It's certainly bigger than this one. But because you're pointing straight down the hill, it's going to make this pretty spicy. Right, so you come down here, hopefully with some control, and then maybe through these trees here. If not, you can try and catch this as a bit of a berm maybe and head that way and maybe fit through those trees, which is a bit of a slower setup but might be more controlled. But otherwise, ride down this rock, which is nice and steep, and then we've got this guy, which try and throw something down there. Whee. Yeah, that's definitely rollable, absolutely, but there's a tree directly at the run out, so you're gonna have to go slightly left and ideally end up down there somewhere. But let's take a side look at this. So there's another angle. That's the rock right up there that you'd roll off, come down in between those two trees, and then yeah, down to here somewhere. Ideally over in that direction, I think, somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. This is a rock I've cleared before, I think. So then it's to that rock there, and then somewhere over there, maybe even to that rock way over there. Yeah, like I said, it's basically just trying to find all the rocks and link them together, because the rocks are the best bit. Right, that will do for now. I'm going to come back with a harsh brush, give everything a bit of a brush, and that should remove all the dirt and dust and make them way grippier. But that looks pretty cool actually, pretty pleased with that. So hard to have it convey well on camera, but yeah, steep, tech, trialsy, so far so good. Oh, I just hope I can ride it. Okay, so you know what guys, I've actually kind of lost my way a little bit. There's a few rocks here that had the moss kind of taken off them a little bit for markers, so I think I'm on the right way. I just can't quite figure out what I was thinking when I was walking this last time, finding or scouting where to go. So I'm actually going to leave this video here because I'm getting pretty tired, to be honest with you. This has actually been a little bit harder work than I expected. I kind of thought I was just going to come along, clear off a little bit of moss and job's a good one. But no, it's been a little bit more in-depth than that. So ideally I wanted this just to be the one video. It's going to be two. So this is part one. Part two will come shortly. Let me know what you think of this video format, making a trail, making hopefully one of the world's hardest trails. It's not going to be the fastest, it's not going to be the most moto, but it is going to be technically one of the more difficult in the world, I think. But I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll catch you next time. So take care everyone, bye bye.